Hello and welcome to the Keiwear Show, where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. I am your host, Keisha Mayo, and we have a great show for you on today. Today, we have a very special guest. We have the two-time Emmy Award winner for the Set the Record Straight, the Jam Master J case, Darryl Pringle. He's also a consultant. He's a talent manager. He's a recording artist, a songwriter, and so much more. Welcome to the show, Darryl, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Please introduce yourself to my viewers.
My name is Darryl Pringle. I grew up in Hollis, Queens, New York. I'm also consulting. Did A&R for record labels. Very much into my community with children. So here I am today.
Thank you so much, Darryl. I'm so happy you're here. I mean, I was reading over your bio, and your bio is just amazing. You have done so many great things, and I'm honored to know your mom, Sister Mary. So we got to shout her out today. But I know
She's the best.
Yes. And I know you said you was born in Queens, New York. But how was your upbringing?
Well, I was born in the Bronx. So,
Oh, you were?
Yes, I was born in the Bronx. And then I was raised in Hollis, Queens. Upbringing was great. I had a great life growing up. I was exposed to a lot of good things in life. Other side of the fence, things that I've been with people that you've seen on TV that that I myself can imagine that I'll be with, in these days. I met some great people, artists in my life. I wrote 3 years of DMX. I used to work his label Bloodline. What we do next, I worked at Culture Records with MC Shan and Mr. Magic and Fly Ty Williams. Like I said, I grew up at LL Cool J right down the street from me, like 12 houses from me. And a few blocks away, we have Run DMC. I come from a very successful community. I'm going to do a documentary about that.
I know. Well, who's been your inspiration? I mean, coming up, who has it been that really cultivated your life to make you want to do great things?
I love hip hop, and that's what got me started. Back in the days, the Grass Flash and the Theodore, the DJs back then, and never forget. When I was growing up, my father gave me everything I wanted. So hip hop came into the city, and they scratching records and everything. And my dad had a nice sound system in his house. So one day I asked for him because I asked for the drums. I had drum set and everything up. And I asked him for DJ equipment. He told me no. So that broke my heart. I'm like, if I get DJ equipment, I wanted. I was involved, get into it. So, I would go to my friend's house. I had a DJ at his house. So he had equipment at his house, on the turntables and the records and spinning records and everything too, which led me to get into hip hop because hip hop saved my life in the streets.
Wow.
Growing up, everybody think because you live in Brooklyn, Bronx, whatever, and Harlem, that because you have buildings. Queens is like Compton. I'm gonna tell you that. We have our problems out there too. We have number one gun problems. Mostly a lot of police is killed in Queens too. So we have our issues out there. And to escape the surroundings I came up in coming up because we had houses, but we had the same crime as Harlem, Brooklyn, what have. I grew up in a nice house down the street from me, but on Boulevard, the Rock. I grew up over there. A lot of children's over there. I mean, I come home from school. There's a dead body in the corner.
Wow.
And everything, so it got real like that, what I'm saying? Because one of the biggest drug kingpins did in my neighborhood, so we had those issues, so my escape was, I mean, I know guys older than me, and they would always tell me I have potential to be something in life, and I ran the streets too, and I, as a young teenager and stuff. But one of my main things in life that kept me also in line was I draw. So
that's good. We're gonna get into that, Darryl, but I wanted to ask you a question. How long have you been in hip hop?
27 years.
27 years. That's awesome. And like you said, it saved your life. I know coming up and you looking to do greater things. God sometimes sends us mentors,
Right.
who leads us in the right direction. Who has been your mentor?
Um,
Who has been your mentor?
my father. My father
Your
was a
father.
businessman. My father was my father was a street hustler, a street dude, also an educated man. And I told him I did my documentary, and I'm gonna do a book too. My father
Mm-hmm.
always told me, you have both sides about you. The street
Mm-hmm.
side about you, and the business, the book smart about you. And
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate to go to college, went to Virginia State University. Um,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and I knew all the hustlers out in the streets in Queens and different
And what
boroughs
was
too.
your
Um,
major when you graduated from there? What was your major?
Commercial art. I graduated commercial advertising, like because I draw, and my second major was going to be law. So I had law. So I
Oh,
chose I chose commercial art as my
mm-hmm.
field in college, and
Oh, okay.
ended up working for a few companies. Back then I was what do you call it? I was a freelance artist, so I worked with
Mm-hmm.
different companies. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time I had my son, he was when I was 20 years old. I got 4 kids, so Moses is 36 years old, so I had him at 20 years old. So I was my left Virginia State, come back up to here to New York to go to school at night, working a full-time day job, and then take care of those son, So
Mm-hmm.
so that pretty much like I said, art was my major thing in life growing up.
Okay. And what high school did you go to?
Forest Hills High School,
Oh, okay. Forest
and
Hill.
I'm proud to say my youngest daughter, she's 14. She goes there now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Following her dad's
that's like a
footsteps.
history, right? History's following. She's following her dad's
Right.
footsteps.
I was asking you about, who's your mentor, because I think I read somewhere where you said also Jam Master Jay was your mentor.
For sure.
And I wanted to ask you because I know even with the Emmys that you won, based off of his documentary,
Right.
you worked as a talent coordinator.
Right.
What does the talent coordinator actually do?
He goes out there, he finds the talent of the people, like well talent clinic for television is different because when I did that documentary, I had to get all the Hollis crew members that were James J's friends involved
Okay.
in the project. Some said yes, some said no, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even as I approached his own sons to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, their attitude was kind of a little different, because they did many documentaries. So but this one was very big. This one, like I said, won me 2 Emmys. Um,
Uh-huh.
so I had to go out there. I just had to go out there and find the people to be interviewed for the project, and worked out very well for me. Much
Right,
as
right.
them, I appreciate them because without them, I wouldn't have this Emmy Awards.
Right. Was it easy, finding people who was willing to do it?
Um, it had its ups and downs because one of the main people that was in the studio when Jay got killed, he was
Mhm,
kind of hard to find. I didn't get a chance to get at him.
mhm,
But most of the people that Jay's friends that I grew up with myself, or he had artists too. Onyx, Fred Jordan from Onyx, they did it for
mhm,
me. When Jay's protege Chris Run, he definitely came through
mhm,
for me on the project. Because he's
mhm.
always with Jay. So that was an A plus for me.
Right, right.
Um,
Well, how does it make you feel knowing you played, an important role in, the documentary? How does it make you feel? And just knowing you are Emmy award winner now.
you know what? I'm still at. I'm still the same humble person. I can still walk in my neighborhood and I'm the type of person I keep it real. I tell people, I never be Hollywood. I don't want that because I wasn't raised in Hollywood.
Hmm.
And um, you know, uh, it feels good because you know why? It took me 27 years to get this, and when people count you out about doing things, and I tell everybody, never give up. You never know what
Hmm.
could happen. And I've been through my ups and downs. Marriages failed, and just certain things I went through in my life. But you know
Hmm.
what? I always remained focused, and I stayed hungry, and I never
Right,
gave up.
right.
So I just feel like I still feel like myself.
Hmm.
Bigger doors is coming my way now, which is good. I feel blessed
Right.
about because never mind. If I tell you the day right now, I'm sitting here talking to you right now, so that'd be an
Hmm.
Emmy award. I didn't see
Hmm.
this coming because I've always done music first. I worked 3 years
Uh-huh.
at DM at Bloodline, and
Hmm.
I always said music. I started getting more and more Grammys before I got an Emmy award. But you know
Uh-huh.
what? I take this Emmy award with grace and honor.
Right.
I'm happy. I'm happy about it. I had a last year was so big for me. It's getting bigger even now. But
Right.
last year I was also part of LL Cool J sculpture. I went to the sculpture artist and had Sherman do LL Cool J sculpture for me. Which was a gift to
Yeah, I
Todd. I
saw
said,
that. I saw that,
yeah,
and you were the brains behind that, right?
yes.
Yeah,
I
that
told
was nice. And I want to ask
I
you
told
too, being that you said, you grew up with Jam Master Day and you grew up with L Cool J, do you
mhm.
find that, those that made it before you, did they go back and try to help those that they grew up with? Like how you are, you seem like you have a big heart and you willing to help others, knowing where you came from. Do you find that those celebrities have, did the same?
Well, well, Jay did, he DJ for the kids for Holiday Day, and he stayed in the community.
Mhm.
LO on the other hand, he does the basketball tournament for the kids every summer we have in the neighborhood for the last 20 years.
Mhm.
He gives back on that behalf. I feel these guys can do a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
build schools, build. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Do a thing
Mhm.
for these kids. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about And I tell people a lot of times is we praise these celebrities, but the celebrities don't get praise back to us. Without your
Right.
fans, you ain't nobody without your fans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so wherever I go, I always I'm the type of person you could talk to me. I've always educate people about getting to the industry. If I can
Mhm.
help you, I will help you. Like I tell anybody, I try, what I'm saying, I'd rather try than not do at all.
Right.
If I say to you, if I say to you, Keisha, I come get your podcast bigger and bigger than it is, and here I am, I have the opportunity, I have the people, that can help you, but
Mhm.
God always says, when you give, you receive. And
Mhm.
somebody passed this down to me when I was against industry, and I always gave back. If I can help you, I'm gonna help you. Even if it might not work out, but you can say one thing: He gave it a shot. He
Right.
tried to help me. You
Right.
know,
Right.
didn't have all these people that I know
Mhm.
um, put them in my pockets for myself. That's not the way you do it.
Right.
You know.
And Darryl, I know too. I read that you at one time had your own record label for like 2 years. Would you consider starting that up again, or you
Well,
just?
me and a partner of mine, he moved to Texas. We had a studio for 10 years. We did very well with it too. We had, of course, he was more the engineer and I had all the connections to all the artists. And at that
Mhm.
time, Ja Rule, I remember Ja Rule was about to blow up, and I told my friend at the studio, I said, yo, do some beats for this guy. This guy's gonna be big. And Ja Rule come
Mhm.
from the neighborhood too. So it's Waka Flocka. They all come from my neighborhood.
Right.
I can walk to all these guys' house. That's how
Right.
close it is, you know. Fubu, Mark Jackson's coach that played for New York Knicks, Stephen A. Smith for ESPN Sports. We all from that same circle. So,
Uh-huh.
you know, so, you know, um, so my thing is, if I have something to help you, if I can help you, I'm going to help you. And, to me, it's a big thing, a part of my legacy, because I tell people, listen,
Right.
it's bigger than me. It's about my
Uh-huh.
legacy. It's about what I leave behind. And hopefully that the ones, artists upcoming will do the same thing for the community, and give back because giving back is so important. And, I take that very serious.
Right. And I know you also done you're into graphic arts, you're a graphic art designer, and it was just
Yeah.
amazing to know that you actually came up with the concept for, I believe, one of Nas albums and also LL, Cool J's album. And I thought that was like excellent. How did you get into, graphic designing?
Well, I went away to college to Virginia State University, and then came up here to a school in New York called what was it called? Center for Media Arts. It was like across from FIT University. So I went to that school, graduated in commercial art, and then at the time, hip hop was, I wanted to get into the business, and one of the ways I got into it was using my artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of my matter of fact, me and LL Cool J and my friend Garnett, we went to Keiwear school together as kids. So
Mm-hmm.
Garnett, I know my grandson, a friend of mine named Garnett, that worked for LL at the time for Todd, and
Mm-hmm.
he was saying to me, and I was showing him my artwork. He said, "Guess what?" We said, "What?" We used to have to rap a Nas to Illmatic, for the first album, to our
Mm-hmm.
management label. I said, "Really?" He said, "Well, come out of the office." One day I was hanging with my friend because I said, it's funny because I told my friends I want to get into this hip hop stuff, and my friends laughed at me.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't bother me because I tell people, "You don't discourage me, you encourage me."
Right. And
So
make you work harder.
that's right. So I got a phone call when they're hanging out. I got a phone call, and they asked I come to the LL Cool J's office that Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and John Local for Nas, and that was the beginning. And
Right.
I went there, and I
That's
was
what
John
opens the
Smoke
door.
opened the
Mm-hmm.
door for me right there because I was going to Bad Boys now with Puffy, with
Yeah.
my friend Harp, he had vice president of Bad Boys, so I'll go up to the office when they first started, and I'll design a tour shirt for Puffy for Bad Boys, back then.
Wow.
Um, like I said, my artwork played a role. That was really the entrance of me getting into the music industry. After that, I would go up to LL Cool J's office every day, and I would watch. I would just sit there and observe what was going on. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying myself, I get into this industry. So I would hang out there all day. I would hang out there all
Mm-hmm.
day, and learn about A&Rs, learn about doing production.
Yeah,
So
because I saw you were the A&R manager for Salt and Pepper and MC
right,
Shan,
yeah,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
I was called. It's funny because I've been through my ups and downs in this whole business, and
Mm-hmm.
at the time I said, when I guess it's when I got with MC Shan, Coach Chiller Records is going under, so now I'm the new face coming to the scene. So one day I'm
Uh-huh.
at the studio, and I was telling my partner, I said, "Yo, it's time for me to go inside." You know what I'm saying? We had a recording studio, we're doing very well with it. And we had Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, L.L. Scratch, Mr. Cheeks of Lost Boys, Ja Rule. Always got to come to our studio. So our
Mm-hmm.
studio was built was strong. So I said to my partner, "Yo, it's time for me to go inside to labels now."
Mm-hmm.
So I just sat around and everything like that. At the time, um, I didn't know you get to become an intern to get into the industry like that. So I'm trying to get a paying job. I'm
Uh-huh.
not trying to work for free for nobody.
Right.
No.
Uh-huh.
So I made a phone call one day and I called Coach on Records. And
Mm-hmm.
who answered the phone? MC Shan.
Wow.
So Shan answered the phone and me and him started talking. And he said, "What you doing next week?" I said, "I'm free." He said, "Can you
Mm-hmm.
come out to the office?" I said, "Man, I was on it." You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys, it's funny because I was once their fan to actually working with them now.
Right.
Buying cassette tapes back then and stuff like that. So I went down to Cold Chillin' Records and I met Mr. Magic, Fly Ty Williams, the vice president of Cold Chillin' Records, and I was coming down there and I started building a relationship with these guys. So I started coming down to the office every day to put it with me make an A&R for their label. But the label was going through so much because they had the original owner had took the money and he left. And they was like basically damn near flat broke. So they had no distribution no more. What one music no more anyway, no more distribution anymore. So I had
Right.
to so I'm a new face, so now here I am calling different, labels, trying to distribution, and I contacted Sylvia Rome at the time. She ran Universal, and she
Mm-hmm.
had she wanted to give us a chance, but my thing was to produce some groups, some artists to the table,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
I did. I had an R&B girl group from Brooklyn called Explicit. They were real good. It's like In Vogue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then I had a few rappers I had brought to the table, and I go out 97 on Sundays, and Shan and Mr. Magic and Five Tower played them promoting our new artists on the radio. It's back in the
Right,
late
because
90s.
wasn't yeah, because wasn't you also the manager for like Ja Rule and Mr. Cheeks and Lloyd Banks? That's just a
Well,
few of
no,
them.
no. Well,
Well, what
I
kind
didn't
of
manage
manager?
them.
Like, what did you do with them?
Well, I didn't really manage those guys. I had my own artists that I managed. Shan was
Okay.
what MC Shan was the one I was managing. So I was really getting Shan back out there because Shan was he had had a bad run in with the labels and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So he kind of blacklisted them for a while. So
Mhm.
they was giving him a time to put out music. So what
Mhm.
saved his career was the Snow, that Informer album. So he made a lot of money with that Informer album.
Mhm.
And so I working with Shan, and then you know, something happened with the label. We wasn't really getting nowhere. And to do at that period of time, I lost a family member and stuff, and I took a break from the industry for a while.
Mhm.
So I got back into it. I got with salt and pepper. 'Cause I grew up with a
Mhm.
husband, Gavin. So I grew up with a
Mhm.
husband. So
Mhm.
at the time, my friend mother said to me, Darryl, Shell working on a solo album. It said 2000. I said, for real? He said, yeah. She said, yeah, you talk to Gavin. Talk to Gavin, when I mean Gavin had a talk, and he said, what can you bring to the table? So I said, well, I get producers. So I said, Rockwell is a good friend of mine. He's a big time producer. So I
Mhm.
said, yeah. So I said, Rockwell was a producer. He's
Mhm.
big time Grammy producers, with Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, and them. I said, and then he did three hands up for Jay Z. So
Mhm.
I told Gavin, I said, Rock's on fire right now. We need him for a solo album. So he said, make it
Mhm.
happen. So I said, you know what? At the time, Rock was in the house too, in Colfax. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go by his house and see what days available. And go over there. So so
So
I told her,
right. Well, that's good because I know you also did some marketing for DMX for his soundtrack too. So you have your hands in a lot that you have done, which is an inspiration to I'm sure your family. Leaving a legacy. Well, you're a legend in your own right anyway. But I wanted to ask you. How many children do you have, and do you see that any of them want to follow in your footsteps? And going into music or the industry.
I have four children. I have one son and three girls. Um,
Mhm.
My son was into rapping at first. Now he does real estate. He lives in Georgia. He has four children. My daughter, she works. The one daughter works for Transit down in Georgia, so she has three children. Then my other daughter, my children are 36,
Mhm.
34. One's gonna be 30. She's gonna be 33 next
Mhm.
month.
Oh,
She has an
awesome.
online. She has an online. She designs clothes, so she has an online boutique um,
Mhm.
online. So she moved to LA.
Oh,
Then my younger
nice.
daughter, she's 14, gonna be 15. She acts, she draws. She's the one. My younger daughter, Sade, she's gonna be the one that's gonna be, like, on a different level because she acts right now. She's very good. Tracy Moore,
Right.
who's a big time acting coach, coached my daughter. So
Uh-huh.
she does drama. She's very good. So I see her out of all my children. Um,
Mhm.
Take it to a different level. Like I said, I want to start my own film company under both our
Mhm.
names.
Mhm.
So I see. Then my grandson, one of my grandsons, two of my grandsons draw. But
Mhm.
like I said, and I have a newborn grandson too. So he's only going to be a year in August. So
Mhm.
but as them follow my footsteps, um, I tell people I got love for it first.
Mhm.
And I love people. So my
Right.
children have personalities, and plus today technology, everybody socializes on social media. I still believe in doing face to face, from
Right.
back in the day,
Well, what do you
so
have planned for the future?
more documentaries. I've been presented to do two more documentaries recently.
Mhm.
We're waiting for the green light. Steve Manning, he's Jackson Five's um, publicist for 50 years. So he
Wow.
approached me. He approached
Mhm.
me because he won an Emmy award, and I knew Steve for a long time. So he approached me. He texted me. He said, "Darryl, we'd be interested in doing my documentary about himself being a Jackson Five and Michael Jackson's publicist." I said, "What would I?" So,
Just,
so
just say the word, right? Where do you need me to be?
right. Just say the word. Just say the word. And then he also just threw at me a documentary to do with Suge Knight.
Hmm.
So um, I'm taking that on. Whatever comes first, I have to do first. I'm gonna take it on. I want to start a
Right.
film company, but my goal right now is to start a film company. Um, and I'm going to try part of a Tyler Perry's company, and basically for black kids, because it's hard for
Mhm.
black kids in the industry. So my goal is to change that. You know what I'm saying? Get more young black artists, on television and movies and stuff too. So that's what I'm aiming for right now. Music's always going to still be with me. People come out to me do music and stuff.
Right.
Music, because of the hip hop right now, I don't like what's going on. You
Right.
know, um, the
Right.
talent level. That next
Right.
saying you have real talent out there. There's real talent out there, but the real talent is not being shown.
Right. And Darryl, I just want to say thank you so much. It seems like the time just goes so quick when you're having a good time. And I just want
Right.
to say this has been an awesome interview. And thank you for being my very special guest. And please let the viewers know real quickly how they can find you. Where can they, find you on social media?
Okay, you can go on Facebook. You look for Darryl Pringle on Facebook. You can see a picture of me with LL Cool J on my cover. Go on Instagram, Darryl Pringle 3. Okay, you're gonna see a picture of me and Nipsey Hussle's brother, Black Sam, on that page. So I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You know, and I'm the type of person anytime you sit down, chop it up with me and build with me, I'm always down for that. If I can help a youth program and you can say, Darryl, can you come to me, help some kids, stuff like that, I'll
Yeah.
basically do it. I'll do it for you.
Okay, thank you so much, Darryl. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And I encourage y'all to come back next week for another episode of the Keiwear Show. You can follow me on all social media platforms and on the internet. The information will be listed on the screen, as well as the information for Darryl Pringle. And always remember that Keiwear is the key to knowledge. Have a good day.
Hello, everybody. My name is Janelle Felipe, a successful real estate investor for 18 years, and you are watching Keiwear Show.